Hi, for my blog, which I haven't done for a long time, um, I thought maybe I would show you how I make my wooden spoons. You see this little guy here? This is the end of a handle of a wooden spoon. And the idea was that it was supposed to be blue. It turned out purple. I stained it with blueberry juice. And of course, blueberry juice really isn't blue, is it? It's kind of more of a purple color. Anyway, the idea was it was supposed to be a blue moon because I guess it's this August here. It's supposed to have two full moons, and that, of course, is known as a blue moon. So, and the person that told me that was kind of cool, so I thought I would make this with them in mind. Um, anyway, I thought I'd show you. I lost a lot of footage when I started work on this thing, but I think I've got enough to show you exactly how I make them. I'll show you another one here. This one is got the same twist that goes up it, except I tried to leave it more of a square twist. I like the way that looked. I also like it to look carved. I don't know if I'm done with this yet or not. I might just leave it like it is, but I might do some more detail work. And I like it to look a little bit rough. So there it is anyway. Okay. Well, we'll get busy and show you what this is like. One of the things I don't have is a table jigsaw, so I have to use the regular my hand jigsaw, and it's not as perfect. You can see that it goes a little bit crooked if you look at the edge. It kind of goes up when you're going around it. But that's okay because everything is going to get carved away anyway. So, and then I've got this to deal with. I need to be able to straighten this out a little bit. I might just whittle on that to get it straightened out and flush because it's not perfect. But I got this. This is pretty well, so I can carve that pretty easily into a spoon. And then eventually I will probably cut it to dip in a little bit so it makes more of a spoon shape. Okay, now what I've done is I've gone about 2.5 inches here and marked roughly about every half inch in order to get this nice little turn like this. And then what I do is I start doing my spiral like this, just marking across here. And it's funny that you can go from a square to a spiral just like that. But you can. I'll show you in a little bit. So I'll mark all of these. Okay. There's a lot of variations you can do with this. One time I did a double helix that was hollow all the way through, so you could actually stick your finger through it and just kind of follow it up. And I turned those into twin serpents, which was kind of cool. Okay, so now we've got our spiral marked. And then what you do is, I like to use this because my other one's too fine. And I don't mark it, cut it across this way. I cut it on the angle this way. Okay, what I do is I make my stop gap first. I call them stop gaps. I don't know what you call them, but when you're carving, that's everything, is to make the cuts in them like that. And then you go into what you just did. Okay, so, and you just kind of keep doing that and expanding it along the ridge that you just cut. So you can see how that will eventually turn into a spiral all the way up. Okay, now I've gotten them perfectly round before, but I kind of liked having just a little bit of the square in there for some reason on this one. This one was more round. You can see it doesn't show up as well with the purple there, but and I made my marks pretty thin on it, so it didn't come out quite as even all the way around. Okay, now all I'm doing is expanding these down the side. And one thing I've just discovered kind of is that when you make your mark like this, your gap stop, what that does is it pushes your blade down and then you can't quite go up on the other side. And then I push it like this, but I don't push straight down. I kind of push crossways so that the blade kind of cuts as like a saw as well as a knife. And it seems to work a little better for keeping control of the blade. Okay. Stop. Okay, now that I've deepened my gap, what I want to do is sand. Okay, and rather than risk going much deeper into that, what I'll do is I'll wrap my sandpaper around my X-Acto knife here. And then I'll start to sand and sand and sand in the gaps. Okay, now that I've got the twist in there all nicely carved out and sanded away, I've notched in here and I'm going to start whittling out the spoon shape. Okay, so I have to be very, very careful about which way the grain goes. If I'm not careful, I'll split the grain, so I have to be like really, really careful here. Let me see if I can get this in the right spot. So I don't go deep. To keep that shallow, if I have to turn back around, go this way. There we go. See, that's very careful. It wants to split downward, so I've got to be careful where I stop on this. So far I've done this without getting a cut, and that's because I'm always cutting away, cutting into stop gaps, because I've cut myself before and I don't care for that. I keep going. I want to try and keep a lot of the surface fairly flat here, but then curve it around. So and once I get it down to a certain level, I'll just try to sand the whole thing. The trick is trying to keep it fairly even all the way around, which is really tough. And I'm not a master carver by any means. Okay, I've got my spoon basically roughed in, and I've kind of got this here, which will all be sanded down. I think I'm going to scoop this out, kind of make a little way for this thing to end before I get to carving my sun face. Now, what I've got here, I do have a few carving tools, so I think I'm going to use those. Some of these, I've got like a little scoop on this one. I can use that when I get down inside. And then I think I'll use the straight one here, go straight down, and this one here first, so I can do some digging on it. Okay, so just start digging and digging, if I can get it going. I don't want to go this way, because I've done this before and gouged myself. Even got a little scar there to prove it. Let me try a different one here. Okay, this one I can kind of go off to the side a little bit. Okay, and just kind of keep gouging it, you know. that I've kind of got the spoon part done, I'm working on the face. Well, this proved to be a lot more of a challenge to carve the sun face than I thought it would be. So anyway, here's the sun, and here's my purple blue moon. And anyway, that's what we get. So you kind of rounded this out a little bit, dipped it in. So I got my spoons, and that's how I made them.